Hey, it's Jason. We're out here in Coatseville, Pennsylvania, where we just wrapped up this project a few months ago. This project was really exciting because we actually got to work in the front yard instead of the backyard. Here we're on an old farm. This was the model home for the entire development. But this beautiful property here has a lot of acres to it, has a barn. The goal was to get from this lower driveway down here to the front door for deliveries, for being able to walk up through there so that not everything would get confined around the garage. And we wanted to keep with the natural look, so we used a Pennsylvania bluestone. We actually have a lot of elevation from the driveway where I'm standing now all the way up to the porch steps. So we actually did a combination of adding one step, but we also ramped the entire walkway up to that door in order to create that elevation. So we didn't have a lot of steps. So I really like how that came out. So once we kind of had this part of the walkway designed, we got to move on to, of course, what my favorite part is, right? The water feature. We wanted to make sure that this thing looked really nice both during the day and at night, whether you were kind of where we're standing now, or whether you were on the porch, or whether you were pulling into the driveway. So it had a large footprint, kind of like a total 180 or more of where we wanted this to look good from, and that can be challenging at times. So what we did is we mixed in a lot of different elements. So let's go take a look at a few of those. When you just start walking up the walkway, what we did is we ended our pondless waterfall here. This is that basin that I often talk about that we get to store all our water in, right? So the way that a pondless waterfall works is we create a basin at the bottom, we pump all the water to the top, and then it sits there and it recirculates. This basin had a lot of importance to it. Not only are we collecting all the water off all of the downspouts and dumping it into here so that it tops off every rainstorm, and then once that's full, that exits out. That's just a natural way to top this off every time. The basin is also where we house our pumps, and that's pushing the water to the top. Of course, my favorite part of all these projects is the art side of it, the aesthetic side of it. And I think the guys did a great job. We obviously have this waterfall right here that's spilling down into the basin, which looks really nice. You know, one of my favorite parts is sometimes when there's just a little bit of water coming out of somewhere that it doesn't necessarily look like there should be. The way we were able to accomplish that is we actually took a pipe and we did a gravity drain. And we have the pipe sticking up with basically a 90 on it. When the water runs across, actually, the waterfall's up top, runs across there, fills that pipe up, that pipe runs down, and then it just spits right out the bottom over here. And I think that was just a really cool way to get a little bit of extra water flowing down this one side. What I really like about it is as you start to walk up the walkway, it just keeps getting better. I mean, you're checking out this waterfall, and then your eyes move on to the spillway bowl that we have right over here to the side. And then obviously all the plantings that are going in around this that they just went in. You know, as these get bigger, they'll start to soften all of this rock, and it just gets better from here as far as the landscaping right around this area. We also put a nice flat rock over along the basin that allow you to get right up and next to this waterfall. It's just a really nice interactive feature. We got a hidden waterfall and obviously a fountainscape at the top. So let's go check out those areas. The one thing that's hard to show on camera is how this thing sounds. You know, I really love that area. Just the way that the water's splitting around all the rocks, and it just made it a lot of fun to build. And you know, the way that we built this is we brought in this big machine. We came in and we dug the basin and we really started from the bottom up. But this was all grass when we got started, so we had to scrape all of this off of here. And this was just a huge, huge dirt area. And then we brought in tractor trailer loads of boulders. We unloaded those boulders. And that's really, we just get to take all these materials and start making the art. And that's the fun part. You get to start putting these rocks together, and we're not even exactly sure how it's gonna come out until it's finished. And that's the really fun part. The rocks are swinging around off the straps, and we're able to nicely set them down in the liner. And once we get everything up and running, it's a really fun process. So again, this area here was really meant to be the natural part of this. So many projects that we build, we want everything to look very natural. But this one, obviously, what we did is we mixed in some other features, the spillway that I already mentioned, the fountainscape at the top, and that was done to create a lot of elevation from the porch and from the driveway, and where you enter the driveway probably 150 yards away. As far as the fountainscape goes, what we did is we took 2 spheres and a stacked slate urn, and we mixed them in with some rocks and some boulders, and we took the pumps that were down in the basin and we plumbed them up to there, and that's where this entire thing starts. We push all that water to the top, that we modify those. We actually drill out those fountains to give us a little bit more water volume coming out the top than what it would normally have. And then that water comes down, splashes over the different rocks, falls into this pooling area, and I'm really happy with how the water feature came out. So the other parts of this project were the walkway that we still had going from the other driveway through the front door, and some other landscaping and lighting. So let's go check that out. So here we are at one of my favorite areas, because this is where the 2 walkways come together. And I absolutely love Pennsylvania bluestone. So what I love about Pennsylvania bluestone is that every walkway comes out looking a little bit different, and that's because the stone is always a little bit different. We don't know exactly what colors are going to be in it, whether it's going to be a little bit more blue or reds or tans or grays or oranges. But when you bring all these colors together and you get a nice mix, one of the challenging parts of this type of walkway, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to look like because we don't know until we get it on site. As much as I love the Pennsylvania bluestone, it kind of comes down to a trust thing where we know it's going to look good. We just got to make sure it's got enough color in there for each homeowner. We did also landscape all of this. This all came out looking really nice. Again, I love how Becky and Kathy mixed in all of the different textures and colors and year-round interest, evergreens with perennials and some of your maples, and even sometimes when all the leaves fall off, some of the barks look absolutely incredible. So as these plants all fill in, it's just going to get better and better each year. They have a really cool barn here. We also landscaped all around that. That was meant to soften the barn, give you some interest along the barn, ease the mowing a little bit, but not go absolutely crazy. So I think all those goals were accomplished. I think it looks really good. So one design change from the original, we actually planned on bringing grass up into this area. And once we started to do that, we were a little bit worried about the grass blowing both ways. So we decided to work with the homeowner, and they were good with a gravel path going through here. They didn't want to see this Pennsylvania bluestone extend through there, so they liked the contrast of the gravel. We installed a metal edging which separates the gravel from the mulch. All of our projects are just a great time. I really loved how this one was in the front yard. If you have any questions, please put it in the comments below. Please remember to like and subscribe, and until next time, keep building your outdoor dreams.